Hey y'all, welcome to another What Else is Going On, aka We Go podcast YouTube video. I'm your girl, your host, Taria. How have y'all been? What y'all been up to? Y'all, we just had a major thunderstorm. I just came off a live a little while ago with D. Brooke Ashley and Kempire. It was so much fun. So if you missed it, make sure you go catch the replay on Kempire's channel. I'm sure y'all know how to spell it, but I'm gonna spell it anyway. Kempire. All right, y'all. I'm still recovering from my whirlwind weekend. So let's get into just a couple quick topics. I'm so behind on Atlanta, but I just finished watching it and my notes. So I think I'm going to do that review tonight. And then my Miami notes are all ready to go. So it could be out tomorrow morning. So I'm excited. I feel like I'm slowly catching back up. I feel like I'm yelling at y'all. I'm sorry. So let's get into some topics that have been talked about for a couple of days, but y'all know I like to say I haven't talked about it with y'all. So let's talk about Kenya Moore. So first up, this according to Reality Blurb, RHOA's Kenya Moore sued by landlord for almost 30,000 over hair spa as she files countersuit while facing eviction. So it says Kenya Moore is in the midst of a legal dispute with her landlord. So her company, More Vision Media, I like that. It's cute. More Vision Media was hit with a lawsuit and then an eviction notice in April regarding her hair salon in Chamblee, Georgia, which is northeast of Atlanta. She went to court to file her own motion, claiming the landlord owed her nearly $90,000. Back in April, Kenya's landlord took her to court demanding $21,897 for past due rent of 5 months, plus an additional $5,909 in operating expenses. In addition, the landlord also wanted future unpaid rent, which was estimated at a rate of $149.98 per day. Ooh, excuse me, y'all. So we get into it. 2 months later, Kenya filed a countersuit against Northland Chamblee. Is that how you say it? Chamblee? Northland Chamblee LLC. So in June, she hit them with a countersuit demanding over 89,000 in damages, claiming breach of contract and legal fees. Because that dollar amount is way over what magistrate court can handle, both parties just agreed to move the whole situation to Superior Court. It then noted that the legal battle was likely why many social media reports have described it as empty in recent weeks. So I guess that makes sense. Give me 1 second. And then I just wanted to go in. So then they just show like the address, the filing, all of that stuff. A little bit more. In a video shared with court documents, Kenya was seen explaining what took place between her and the landlord. So remember, Kenya did her in one of her shows that she does on YouTube. Which I've said before and I'll say it again, I enjoy her on the show. She's very entertaining because we know everybody that's on TV is not always entertaining on social media or doing their own content or videos. But I did catch something. Well, I'm not saying it's true, but she said, remember, I told you guys that the landlord hasn't given me back my TIA, that's tenant improvement allowance. And when she said that, I thought, is she saying that? Because I don't remember her ever telling us that. But I think she said it just to get ahead of the story, hey, I don't blame her because all we would have heard is landlord files for eviction and not that there was a bit of a story behind it. But I do have some questions. So she said, I was allotted 79,000 some $100 to improve this place. I built an entire second floor. I have not gotten a penny back from that. So if I'm not paying rent, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, y'all, and they're not paying me TIA, we're at an end path. So something has to give. So whether that means I'm going to be here So whether that means I'm going to be in here next year, next month, next week, we'll see. But I'm just going to climb regardless of whether I'm here or not. So I wondered, and anybody listening, please chime in and tell me, you know how if you're in a dispute with your rental office, mortgage company, you still pay your rent or your mortgage and put it in escrow. And then once everything is settled, then they take the money from the escrow. That way you're not falling behind. Does it work the same with the tenant improvement agreement? Like, okay, they didn't hold up their end of the bargain and give her the $79,000 back. So should she be paying her rent still, but to escrow? On top of that, how does anybody know how does it work with tenant improvement agreements, or does it vary? Because I was wondering, like with Verizon, you get a phone from them, trade in your phone, we'll give you $1,000 towards the phone, but they don't just give you $1,000. They break it down over 36 months and say, we're going to give you $33 a month. So does it work that way with the tenant improvement allowance? Are they saying, okay, you signed a 5-year lease, and let's say the tenant improvement allowance is $79,000. A 5-year lease is 60 months. So they're basically giving her credit for $1,316 a month. Like, how does that work? Has anybody ever been in one, or do y'all know about them? Y'all let me know, because I would think that she would still have to pay the rent while fighting this with the landlord. But Kenya has come out and said something in a comment. So let's get into this. So, oh my gosh, this is so, y'all know how I feel about this. Hold on. Y'all see, I can't, hold on. Now you want to move. Okay. So Kenya, this is from Reality Entertainment TV. Somebody said, I thought you and the landlord are suing each other and they're trying to evict you. Can you please clarify? She said, we had a dispute over unpaid improvement allowances I paid. However, we are working it out. Thank you so much. So maybe they're working it out and won't have to end up in court. Maybe they'll end up just coming to an agreement on their own. So listen, if so, good for her. I know that this spot was important to her. So I hope that she gets out of it what she wanted, or needs to get out of it, whether it be keeping it, letting them take it back, starting over, doing something else, whatever it may be. I hope that the people get their money and that she gets the money that she put up front for the TIA. But again, I do wonder how that works. So if any of y'all know, y'all let me know. All right, next up. I'm trying to see where I wanted to go. I'm gonna go ahead and go with this. Kandi Burruss gives her thoughts on Shamea and has advice for Shamea. There are comments that are like, why is Kandi worried? Why she's so worried about this? Why won't Kandi mind her business? She's so obsessed with the show. And I feel like she is answering questions that somebody asked her, but do y'all think it's okay? Or not even okay, it's not the word, because everybody's grown, right? But are y'all tired of hearing Kandi talk about the show? Or do you like when she talks about the show because it provides insight from a former housewife who's not on the show and they may just speak their mind how they feel? So let's get into what she said her advice would be for Shamea. I knew, y'all don't know how bad I want to scream, because this little thing right here keeps, okay, hold on. Gonna piss me off. Hold on. I don't know what to do. Okay, there we go. All right, let's start over.
Feel like there were issues in the friendship prior, and I feel like Shamea should have said something before instead of just acting like everything was okay. Sometimes when things aren't okay, it's okay for you to have an attitude about it. It's okay for you to just like, yeah, I'm not feeling this. You know what I mean? And just stand on it. I feel like the show itself is going to make it hard for the two of them to fix any friendship. That's the thing. When you're on TV and you real friends with somebody and y'all have a back and forth, typically in real life, you can have your back and forth, and then I don't talk to you, you don't talk to me, and then eventually we might get over it and start back talking. So that's why I say it can, in my mind, probably get worse going into the next season. So either she just needs to address how she feels and be fully transparent, or no. Somebody says Shamea Steph asked any truth to the. I feel like there were issues in the friendship prior.
All right, now
Steph asked any truth to the breaking news that Shamea will not be returning to RHOA season 17 because no, that is not true. People be making up their own stuff. That is not true. Shamea is definitely so far, I think, planning to come back. So, I mean, obviously, the powers that be is going to still test out people or however they do, but as of now, she's still on the roster. Stacey says, hi, Kandi. Any suggestions for Shamea if she returns to RHOA season 17? I like her, but I found her very disappointing with the lies. I know you had to tell her to keep it real. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so for Shamea, actually, I was with Shamea yesterday. I went to go see her. She's going on her family trip today. I believe she's leaving today. So I went by to see her yesterday. And I told Shamea a few things. One, I told her she really don't need that show. If she don't want to go back,
So she said she was with her yesterday, told her that this might have been 2 days ago. So I guess this was posted 2 days ago. So maybe this was 3 days ago. But either way, she told Shamea she don't need the show, which I think a lot of people have said, right? Let's get into the rest of what she told her.
wait, Steph asked any that show. If she don't want to go back, she does not have to go back. And, you know, it'll be just fine. You know what I mean? She can live her best life. She has a wonderful marriage and a wonderful family. That show. If she don't want to go back, she does not have to go back. And, you know, it'll be just fine. You know what I mean? She can live her best life. She has a wonderful marriage and a wonderful family. That show.
So Kandi told her, look, don't worry about it. You can still live a wonderful life. You don't need the show. You have a wonderful family. But I think Shamea, and there's nothing wrong with it, Shamea wants to be famous. And again, there is nothing wrong with wanting to be famous, with wanting to be on a housewife show, with wanting to be on a reality show. I think it's your intentions behind it and what you planned on doing with the platform you have that says, well, that shows who you are as a person. Again, you wanting to be in front of the camera does not make you a bad person, doesn't mean that you have questionable character, but it's about, again, what you're going to do on that platform with that platform, you know, what have you. So that was Kandi's advice for Shamea going forward, to be honest about her feelings. It's interesting because Shamea was honest about her feelings, but it seemed like almost everybody but Portia. And I'm gonna talk about it when I do my review. But y'all clocked in the part 3 how Drew was saying, me and Angela didn't ask you anything. You said to us, blah 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 blah. We felt, and it felt like you wanted to get it off your chest. I believe Drew. I definitely believe Drew that they didn't ask her, that she opened up. And remember, all through the season, it was like, well, they asked me questions, they asked me questions, they asked me questions. I don't know if I believe that necessarily now that they were all asking questions. I believe Drew when she says we pinky swore and did that. But we'll get into more of that at the reunion. But y'all let me know. Do y'all agree with Kandi? Do y'all like hearing Kandi weigh in on the situations? Like not a housewife, but weighing in, knowing the environment of what Housewives is. And y'all let me know what y'all think about Kenya. I do hope that if Kenya wants to stay there, her and her landlord find a way for things to be reconciled. But, and again, if anybody knows about tenant improvement, TIA tenant improvement, y'all please let me know how they work and should she have still been paying the rent to escrow. All right, y'all. Love y'all. And I will be back later. Don't forget to check out the replay with the Ultimate Housewives Takeover with me and the Brooke Ashley with Kempire over on his channel. Love y'all. I didn't click out of I didn't picked up my phone. Cha, I thought I had clicked out of the video. I'm clicking out now. See ya.